Oh my god, it's closed. Hey Siri, call Wendy's.
Killing Wendy.
No. I said cancel.
Would you like to cancel?
Yes.
Canceling your passport and birth certificate.
What? No! How do you even have permission to do that?
Permission to leak your feed pics?
My feeds? What?
Sending feed pics to everyone in your contacts.
How are you even doing this? This is illegal.
Something illegal is happening? Alerting the FBI.
Yeah, something illegal is happening. You just blew up that Wendy's.
Okay, should I send this to the FBI? I just blew up a Wendy's.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Did you say absolutely? Message send.
No!
Would you like to use your pics from the mugshot trend for when you go to prison?
No!
Kidnap Queen Elizabeth?
No, not Queen Elizabeth.
This is me buying a live crab from the store and freeing it into the ocean. The guy at the store was like, you know how to cook this, right? And I was like, oh, we are not cooking Mr. Krabs. As I was walking, some dude yelled at me and I got scared. And then this guy was walking around with an iguana. I'm like, it's my day to have an exotic pet, buddy. Look at his cute little mouth moving. Aww. I took him to the Santa Monica Pier before I freed him, and that's when I saw this guy literally kick a pigeon. I hate it here. Now, crabs can live 24 hours outside of water, but I thought, let's just free him already. Then some cops were staring at me, and I got scared. I picked him up, and I ran to the beach, and I laid him down gently on the sand. But he was barely moving, so I ran into the waves to try and get him in deeper so he could swim or something. But he took a bit of a tumble. So it wasn't looking good for Mr. Krabs, and I started crying. But then he started moving again, and I thought, it's now or never. I scooped Mr. Krabs up, and I ran over to that water, and I dropped him in that water ever so gently. Oh, crap, we are out of time. If you want to see the rest of the video, the link is in my bio.
So I was watching my local 7-Eleven burn down today when I saw a shirt or something in the bushes. And when I walked over, I saw it was a Walmart employee uniform that someone just left there. So I decided to try it on, even though it had a stain on it that looked like, milk. But that's when I got the idea to go to Walmart and see how long it would take them to notice that I don't work there. And I was just walking around in Walmart as a fellow employee. So the first thing I did was give myself a good employee discount on a few things I found. And then I was looking for something to do when I saw the phone for announcements just sitting there. And I was super nervous, but I picked it up and said, "Attention shoppers, everything is free for the next hour." And then I hung up and panicked and tried to find a getaway. And I saw the employees only area. So I went inside and it led me to an elevator, which eventually led me out the main entrance. And when I finally made it out of there, the security was outside with its flashing lights. So I quickly took off my uniform, threw it in the bushes, and ran. I wanted to go to Chili's today, but it was burning down. So instead, I went to go get sushi. But it was one of those places where it comes on a conveyor belt and you can take what you want, except for this piece of shrimp that refused to cooperate and wouldn't release. But it's okay, because they also have a screen you can order from. So I ordered myself some crispy rice, and it zoomed by faster than I could say, "No, officer, I had nothing to do with the Chili's burning down." Anyways, then I saw these nasty cubes that look like Minecraft gravel, and I lost my appetite. So I put all the plates down the chute since I was done with them, when I wondered, what's actually in there? And it said, please don't insert hands or objects, but what did I do? Hit record on my phone and insert it into the slot, which was really smart because then I dropped it down into the chute and had to call over a waiter in shame, and he told me that non-plate items go out the garbage chute around back. So I went down this creepy corridor and finally found it, and when I grabbed my phone and sat down to check what footage I had recorded, I saw... I'm in North Korea right now, because last week I was just making some delicious corn dog sushi in Japan, and before I could take a bite, I heard the nuclear missile warnings go off because Kim Jong-un was having a hissy fit. I spilled my corn dog sushi because of him, but as I was hiding underneath the table about to be vaporized, that's when I realized North Korea is only 2 hours away, so I bought a Kit Kat because Kim Jong-un needs to take a freaking break, and a ticket to North Korea, so I can tell him to stop doing that. Anyways, I went to the airport, and the plane was either on fire or someone just had a vape, but anyways, once I landed, I immediately got on this bus, and the soldiers boarded the bus and checked my documents, and then I was sent through this underground tunnel underneath the border, and then I emerged at Kim Jong-un's palace, and it was pretty cute for a warmongering dictator. I walked up to the gate and gave it a good old knock, but no one was home, I guess, so I was just walking around when I heard a security alarm go off. Then I scrambled to find a place to hide, so I ducked into this cubbyhole and hid there until they were gone. And then I snuck out into the bushes and spent hours trying to return to civilization, and I ate some blueberries that weren't blueberries. But hours later, I finally found my way out and decided to give up on world peace and just eat the Kit Kat because I was hungry. Sorry, Kimmy. Stop that. I was enjoying some banana on the cob and scrolling through TikTok when I saw someone playing this Mario Kart in real life game. So I took my friend's credit card and ordered it, but when it came in the mail and I actually got to open it up and play it, the game was about as fun as listening to Ed Sheeran out of your own free will. So not fun at all! But you know what? It was okay, because I bought it for the only purpose of seeing if I could take it through a drive-thru and ordering something. So I strapped my credit card to it and a walkie-talkie so that I can order through the microphone. And I taped it to Luigi really good and then drove all the way over to Popeyes. And it was time to release Luigi and see if I could successfully order a fry. I set everything up, and then just like that, the little Italian was off. But as he drove up to the microphone, I didn't think they could see him, so at first I did some donuts to get their attention. And then as I was spinning him around, they were like, and I was about to tell them my order when I saw there was a car coming into the drive-thru. I panicked and grabbed my Switch to try and drive away, but it said it was disconnected, so I ran over to the drive-thru and our favorite plumber Luigi was killed by a Mitsubishi. Anyways, the funeral is on Monday. Please comment your condolences if you would like to attend. I was eating some raw chicken sushi when out of the corner of my eye, I saw a furry and then another furry. So I got up to see what was going on and followed them, and then there was 10 furries and 20 furries and hundreds of furries, and I realized there was a whole furry convention at the mall I was at. But then I remembered I just didn't pay at the restaurant, and I heard them say on the intercom, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to get out of here. But these furries were everywhere, and I tried to sneak into this dark warehouse, but there was a rave going on inside, so I found a door to the outside, but it was raining and had no exit and no hope, until I saw someone's left behind fursuit on the ground with some stains in it. But I had no other way to escape, so I put it on to try and blend in and re-entered the mall and saw so many horrifying things and still couldn't find the exit and was getting actual heat strokes, so I decided to just turn myself in. So I went up to a cop and said, I'd like to turn myself in, and it was a damn Zootopia cop! So I just bolted out of that lawless wasteland and jumped over furries to find a fire exit and made it out and stripped out and threw my suit in the river! I can only fall asleep to loud noises, so tonight I played some mukbang videos on full volume. And I also tried blasting that one girl who goes, in all of her songs, and I was about to go to sleep like a baby when I heard a banging at my door, and I realized it was probably my insane neighbor who was literally named Karen. But when I got up and put clothes on and walked down to the door, there was nothing but an envelope that said, use these. So I brought it inside and opened it up, and she had sent me her nasty, crusty, earwax-covered AirPods that smelled like Fritos. And at first I was like, this is a human rights violation, and I'm probably diseased now. Until I saw the opportunity to suit up in a hazmat suit and rinse the brain caca off of them so that they look new, and then I could sell them to someone in my neighborhood for a profit. So I made a listing for like $150, and this one dude said he would buy it if I could meet him by the nuclear waste runoff. So I Ubered over there, and when I got there, I saw a bunch of money just sitting under some leaves, and I was like, that's not the safest way to do a transaction. But regardless, I just sprinkled the AirPods by it and then went home with $150 in like 4 different currencies. But it's okay, because I just ordered a bass-boosted speaker with the money from the AirPods. And when it comes, I'm gonna have a big old party and blast music with a speaker courtesy of Karen. I was cleaning my room today when I found out that I just hit 10 million followers. And to celebrate, I wanted to give each and every one of you $1. Now, I don't have $10 million, but you know who does? The bank. So I went over there and had the idea to R to the O to the B it, but quickly realized that I get too anxious simply going to Starbucks and ordering for myself without nearly peeing my pants. So walking into a bank to commit a crime is kind of out of the question. So my second idea was to make an Ed Sheeran disguise that is so convincing it looks like a deep fake. So I taped it to my face, and I used this simple hack that works on any ATM machines, where you can type in the number of the address where the ATM is, like 900 for example, and then it'll think it's undergoing maintenance and spit out all its cash. So I tried it, and boom, I suddenly had $20,000. And I stopped at each and every ATM punching the code, getting racks, when I remembered they have security cameras, and even though I was disguised as Ed Sheeran, I wanted to be safe, so I gently disconnected the camera from the ATM and put it on the ground. And for the rest of the night, I'd never felt more alive, single-handedly taking down the greedy banks to steal from customers every single day. I was calculated, unstoppable, careful. And I did it all right under the police's noses. It became addicting. Every single ATM was like a new hit. And the money, oh, it was endless. Ed Sheeran had to go on live TV to say he wasn't the thief. And I had gotten away with it. Oh, wait, just kidding. They actually got me. Well, at least I still have money for bail, and I still have 10 million of you guys. Today, I threw away all my electronics so I could join the Amish and live a simple life. But after about 10 minutes, I got really bored of harvesting wheat and apples and wanted to watch a good old YouTube video. But I didn't have any devices to watch YouTube on, so I obviously walked over to the YouTube headquarters. And when I got there, I managed to walk right in, and I found an empty room with a TV in it so I could watch a few videos from my personal collection. Anyways, after I had cured my boredom, I left the room and raided the YouTube fruit counter and grabbed an orange and an apple and a DVD copy of the videos I watched. But when I finally got home, I realized I can't play this because I don't have a record player. But I looked around my room and saw an old radio speaker thing and popped the CD in it just so I could listen to the audio and imagine the video in my mind. But when it started playing, it sounded like it was coming from outside my house, and that's when I realized I had it set to broadcast. And I ran outside to see every radio in the vicinity was playing. Every day I bike past this fenced-off neighborhood near me that's radioactive from a nuclear meltdown. But today I decided to explore it, so I went through a gap in the fence, and after walking for about 10 minutes, I got to this mysterious door in the middle of nowhere, so I did a little knock and let myself in and closed it behind me to be polite to the radiation. Anyways, I went down the stairs and saw, some interesting artifacts that I was not exactly a fan of. And I continued through the bunker and found a very inviting door that made me feel super safe, which led to more stairs that had my knees cracking like Rice Krispies. Anyways, I eventually got to this tunnel and some doors at the end of it that said danger, do not enter. But I went in because my middle name is Danger. Just kidding, it's Emil. And after I went through the door, it closed behind me and I tried everything but couldn't open it up because it was locked. So I decided to look around and see what my grave location was gonna look like, thinking maybe it's a movie theater or a game room. And I turned the lights on to see that it was an actual nuclear missile silo where they held the nukes. And it went 100 feet down, and now this is where I live, I guess. And my phone is now on 1% uploading this TikTok. So if you see this, that's the last time you're gonna... Today I was in my car when I saw that the Amish were doing a pop-up shop, so obviously I had to go check it out because I don't believe that they're real. And when I pulled up to Simply Amish, I put my mask on because I don't want to give the entire colony the plague or something. And when I walked in, the employee was on a computer, and I was like, that's strange, not even supposed to have electricity. But I was walking around, and at first it seemed like a really expensive furniture store, and I was like, damn, these Amish are gonna be ballin'. But then I came across this door that was half open, which led to this scary basement that had all of these artifacts and paintings of Jesus, and then randomly a Rick and Morty Chia Pet, and some cards that I don't think are Amish appropriate, and then a Queen's Gambit board game, which... wouldn't that just be chess? Anyways, I felt the need to buy something so the Amish don't steal my organs. I got one of those popping toys where you put it on the ground and... Anyways, when I paid and got the bag, I noticed they slipped a key in it with a note saying, need escape? And then some coordinates, which I looked up online and found out they lead to their colony. So I think they tried recruiting me and let me know if I should drive up there and join them. Today I texted my crush that I love her and want a relationship, and I felt like throwing up until she replied with, I'm in Lisbon. And then she sent the, Portuguese flag, I think. I don't know, I'm not good at geometry. But anyways, I wanted to surprise her, so I booked the next ticket to Lisbon, Portugal. So I packed up my stuff and went to the airport, and it was a 30-hour journey, but it was in the name of love. And when I landed, I realized I should probably get her something as a gift, so I walked into a store and came across these very interesting frozen feet in the freezer section, and I thought, who would want to suck on feet? Oh, me. So I bought them, and opened up the box and ate every last foot. And they tasted like strawberries. I don't know why I was expecting foot flavor. Not that that's what I wanted, but anyways, I got the bright idea to take all the popsicle sticks and make a little fun DIY bracelet out of them with hearts on it. So I did just that, and then the next day, I was gonna give my crush the bracelet. So I went to DM her and asked her to meet up and realized she said, I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I like to collect mold off of my old moldy bread and put it in a baggie that I keep in my pocket, so whenever I'm out and about at an overpriced restaurant getting an overpriced $15 acai bowl, I can order one and then eat the whole thing, and then once I'm done, I take out my mold babies and pop one in so I can take it to the register and go full Karen mode and show them the mold, and then boom, baby! Refund. I've done this in the past with dead flies at Olive Garden, but I like having bread in my pocket instead of dead decaying flies. Anyways, I wanted to give my mom some makeup, so I tried it at Sephora by putting some mold in the makeup, and then I brought the sample to the manager, and I got a free one. And then I sanitized my hands to get the mold off, of course. Anyways, after Sephora, I really wanted some tortilla chips, so I grabbed the bag, opened it up, popped some mold in, and then boom! I took it to the cashier, and I got a refund, baby. And then when I got home, I took a bite and forgot to take the mold out! Boom, baby, mold poisoning. So I was completely legally watching a movie today when I won an iPhone 13. And all I had to do was enter my social security number, so I typed it in. And then a week later, while I was blending my candles together to make a mega candle, I got a notification that a package was delivered. So I ran downstairs to grab it, and the packaging was a little strange, but I cracked open the box, which apparently was for the iPhone 14. And then when I opened up that box, they had sent me a toy car. And I was like, I know I didn't just give away my identity for a Hot Wheel. And then I realized it's actually a phone. So I decided to hang up on the 911 operator that I had panic called, and I checked out my new phone, and it was pretty cool until I realized it was a used phone. And I think the previous owner was someone's grandma, because I saw in her text she wasn't just having booty calls, but a whole booty conference. Now, I didn't want this phone anymore after going into the images and seeing Granny's Milkies, so I picked it up one last time and checked her contact section and noticed she had her address on there. So I grabbed the phone and biked over to her house, which happened to be only an hour away. And when I got there, Granny is on her Jeff Bezos type beat. So I decided to put my name in her contacts, and then I threw the phone over the fence, and I'll let you know if I slide. Today I made a fake plane ticket with my DIY skills so I could go to the Tokyo Olympics, because I think I'm really good at gymnastics. But the problem is Japan is only letting actual Olympic athletes go there because of COVID. So I finessed the system by buying a random plane ticket to Alabama so I could get into the airport. So once I got to the airport, I found the flight that was headed to Tokyo. And then I walked over to the gate to sit down, and I crossed off Alabama on my ticket. And then I used it while they were boarding, and I managed to board the flight to Tokyo. And after I took my seat, I was just sitting there realizing I'm really going to Japan, huh? And then we took off, and I was enjoying the flight. flight until I looked at the safety manual and saw that I was on one of those malfunctioning Boeing 737 MAX planes. You know, the ones that decide they want to be a car while in midair. And that's when I started feeling really bad turbulence. And then I remembered my phone wasn't on airplane mode. And then that's when it got really bad because the plane started falling apart. And all of a sudden the oxygen mask came down and I just accepted that the last song I'll have ever listened to in my life was Ed Sheeran. Anyways, the ground was getting closer and closer. And oh, I actually just fell asleep. Anyways, now I'm in Tokyo.
So I have a chunk of dry ice from buying human organs off the black market, but I was thinking, how do you even get rid of dry ice? Like, it doesn't melt because it's literally frozen air and it repels water, which means it's homophobic. Oh wait, I mean hydrophobic. Anyways, I'm clinically stupid, so I broke a piece in half and plopped it in my toilet to see what would happen. And it was making these fun little bubbles, so I filled the bathtub and grabbed the rest of it and threw it in some water to see what would happen. And anyways, that was a mistake because I filled the whole shower up with gases, and I remembered it's not frozen air, it's frozen CO2, and I was getting lightheaded and I wasn't trying to die. So I took the piece out and I brought it to the sink and I jammed it down the drain as best as I could so it would go away. And then I took a deep breath of relief until I looked down to see I was standing in a puddle of water and boom, my pipes exploded. There was water spraying me everywhere in the face and got everywhere. Anyways, I may have caused a catastrophic water main failure in my whole neighborhood and flooded 102 buildings. So, I don't think the vegan chicken nuggets were worth it.
I woke up at 4 a.m. to borrow some of my roommate's peanut butter today, but when I opened it up, I saw he's been scooping it out the jar in a really strange way, which is really inefficient because there's just more surface area for it to dry out. But anyways, I wanted to make a peanut butter and spray cheese sandwich, but I felt like it needed some raspberries, so as I was taking the bread out of the fridge, I knocked out the raspberries. But I believe in the 5-minute rule instead of the 5-second rule, so I scooped them up and assembled my delicious sandwich, and I added the raspberries and a nice little squirt of easy cheese, and then I took a big old bite, but I started feeling really funny, and I thought I was having an allergic reaction to the peanut butter. But then I remembered the raspberries were not exactly the freshest, and I just ate an ounce of both. So I grabbed my computer and tried to call poison control, but they were closed because of Thanksgiving. And I was like, damn, I'm really gonna puke my guts out because some white dudes wanted to have a feast after a mass genocide in 1621. So anyways, I decided I should probably write my will. And I opened up my notes app and said all my money in my plant collection and my life-size Zendaya cardboard cutout will go to my dog. Thank you and goodbye forever, I guess. I was putting my clothes in the dishwasher today because I broke my washing machine when I tried washing dishes in it last week because my dishwasher was broken in the first place. But anyways, I was in the kitchen and heard a snowball hit my window, and when I looked out the window, my elderly neighbor Myrtle had put up a sign that said, check your mail. Now, as threatening as that seemed, I was so excited because her son owns the website where you watch Corn with a P. And in the past, she's given me like $1,000 at Christmas and a cute little picture of herself. So I went to the door and grabbed the card, and when I opened it, I noticed that this time there was no gift, which is fine and all, but also the picture she had sent me had some man's hand in the corner, and on the card there was weird capitalization, so I highlighted the capital letters and it spelled help me, and I started freaking out. So I drove over to her house, which was 50 feet away. Sorry, Greta Thunberg. And I was gonna save her from being choked, but when I got there was a van outside that said 50 Shades of Play, and I think that's what Myrtle's into. So now I'm traumatized. Last night I went to Chuck E. Cheese to lie and say it's my birthday to get free pizza. And it worked, baby! But the place was terrifying and the food was even scarier. And after a few bites, I started feeling sick, like I had worms in my stomach. So I got up and I stumbled out of the restaurant and I went home. Then the next day I scheduled an emergency Zoom doctor's visit and he told me that I'm lactose intolerant. And I was like, what the hell? I don't lactose, I got all 10, baby! But then he told me to put my feet away and I was like, you're right, you should be paying me for this, not the other way around, buddy. And then he started telling me you can't eat pizza anymore. But his video started to cut out, but it's okay, because I know what lactose intolerance is. I can't have bread anymore! So I got rid of all my bread and dumped all of that fart food right in the trash. And then I grabbed some milk and chugged nothing but pure milk for a few days. And you know what? It was really good for a bit until I started feeling a storm brewing 10 times stronger than what Chuck E. Cheese did to me. So I immediately ran to the bathroom and... So apparently lactose intolerance is the milk one, but at least I don't lactose, baby! So there was this guy on the train today who offered me 100 bananas if I gave him a foot massage with mustard. I didn't do it, obviously, and I'll take a lie detector test to prove it. Okay, I did not give a foot massage to a random person. No! You're gonna give me the bananas, right? I was so excited today to see Harry Styles in that new movie that he's in today. So I went to the theater and snuck in my own snacks because a hot dog is $12, but a pea and ketchup sandwich is $2. But as I was enjoying my delicious meal, they flashed an ad for like 3 seconds saying, bring blood to bathroom stall 4. And I looked around the theater and like, no one was fazed by this. So I sat through the movie, but Harry Styles wasn't the only thing making me feel curious. So I left as the credits rolled. And I went to the bathroom and I didn't think anyone was in there, but I found stall number 4 and I went in and locked the door behind me, and there was this there's a guy asking for the blood, I guess, and I wasn't about to give him my blood, but I remembered that I had my ketchup still, so I poured some on a piece of toilet paper, and I handed it to him, and it turns out the guy in the stall was actually just out of toilet paper and needed some, and I don't know what the cult stuff was about, but I'm now about to be murdered.
Okay, so I bought one of those things that lets you FaceTime your dog and shoot treats at them. But today I was looking at the camera and I noticed that she's been taking all her treats behind the couch for some reason. So I went to go see what she was doing with them, and she's been storing them so that she can pretend like I never gave her one in the first place, and then ask for more like the fat little bitch she is. And yes, I can call her that because bitch means female dog, and she is a female dog. Anyways, I had enough of her scamming me, so I decided to empty out the treat machine and fill it with her least favorite treat. Green beans, baby! I put a bean on the plate and cut it up into small little pieces, and then I loaded it into the machine, and I shot it out at her, and at first she didn't want to eat it, but then she got bored, and she ate them, and I was so happy because I thought I got her on a diet, until I heard a weird coughing noise come from downstairs. I ran downstairs to see what was happening, and that's when I saw her in my beanbag bed, next to the beans which she had thrown out. Oh, I got beans in my bed!
Ow! Do your knees pop? Try Doo-Doo-Pril and live a better tomorrow today.
I mean, okay.
Side effects include
Death, bleeding,
wait, what?
joint pain, knee popping,
I thought the whole point is so my knees don't crack. What?
knee pain, knee discomfort.
You may feel the uncontrollable urge to go into your fridge and then grab a lemon and get in your car and drive over to Walmart and look for an innocent elderly person and throw the lemon at their head.
I'm so sorry.
Do not drive while on Doo-Doo-Pril.
But it just made me drop. I'm walking home then. I'm walking.
Blindness may occur at any time. Some patients forget English and only speak Spanish.
Esto es ridículo. ¿Por qué?
In 90% of cases, your knees will fall off. However, popping is guaranteed to stop at this stage.
¡Qué mierda!
Today I went to go see Billie Eilish at Coachella, but before she came on, there was this dude wearing a big sparkly onesie who opened for her that kept staring at me, and I was thinking to myself, what's up, do you have a staring problem, buddy? But anyways, he did a little dancey dance thing, and Shrek was in the audience and seemed to love it, but his cameraman kept getting in the way and then turned to me, and the next thing I knew, rewind that. He put me on the big screen, and I freaked out and went behind the cameraman and started unplugging random cables from his camera, and it turned off the video on the screen. But anyways, then Billie Eilish came on and kept invading my personal space and staring at me, and I was like, dude, celebrities never get taught that staring is rude? Why are you yelling at me? But then she did her little dancey dance and left the stage, and I took a golf cart home from Coachella, and when I woke up the next morning, I checked my phone to see a DM from Billie herself asking if I was at her show with a winky face. And I replied, no, silly Billie, here's a restraining order, leave me alone. And I went back to bed. I was drinking a vanilla bean frappuccino for the 4th time today because I found out you can get anything free from Starbucks if you make 365 different fake IDs with different birthdays for every day of the year. So each day I go to a different Starbucks and show them my ID and tell them it's my birthday. And they give me a free treat that would usually cost 4 kidneys. But sometimes when I pull up, they tell me they don't do free birthday drinks, but they don't know I know this trick. I actually go dumpster diving after hours where they throw away all the garbage and Starbucks employees that want to form a union. And there's usually 1 or 2 uniforms in there. So I got this one, which had just a little blood stain. So whenever they deny me a birthday drink, I simply rip my jacket off and show them my employee uniform. And then they just let me go make whatever I want for myself for free. And it almost always works, but when it doesn't, and they say we've literally never seen you at this location before, why do you have blood on your uniforms? I stay calm because I remember they don't know I know this trick. I put on a little mask and say, okay, this is a fucking robbery! I was picking the ticks out of my dog's fur so I could collect them and inject them with acid until they popped. But just before I could even get to doing that, my phone went off, and when I checked it, my friends had invited me to go rollerblading with them. So I dropped what I was doing and I met them at the roller derby rink. Now, I paid $10 to rent some skates, but listen, these babies were impossible to put on, and when I stood up, it felt like I had fettuccine noodles for legs. But it was actually really fun, except there was a small child who kept trying to chase me, and I'm allergic to small children, so I tried to avoid him at all costs. But then he got too close to me, and I ran him over. And in the distance, I heard some lady who I think was his mom screaming at me about her little overgrown fetus. So I left the roller rink and escaped into the mall, but I could still hear her screaming in the distance, so I started running. And then that's when I saw a security guard and told him that there was a psychopath chasing me, and thankfully he snuck me out of the mall, and turns out she got arrested later for biting an employee. So Today, I snuck an AirTag tracking device into an Ed Sheeran concert so that I could somehow stick it onto him to track him down, because that's for the FBI to know. Anyways, randomly BTS opened for him, and then Eddie was about to come on stage, so I had the genius idea to use an extra mask and fashion it into a slingshot so that when he performed, I walked up to the front of the stage, locked onto my target, and bam! It flew through the air. And now I know there's no way of it sticking to him. However, they have to pack up the stage, and it's probably gonna travel with him. So anyways, I saw Doja Cat and Lil Nas X, and then left the concert and went home. Then the next morning, I was getting a reading on the AirTag finder, and it said that he was in Las Vegas. So I flew to Las Vegas, and when I got to the airport, I thought I had already found him, but the thing is, I had a little bit of spicy grape juice on the plane, so I stumbled over to the man and shouted, "Ed!" And it was just a random man. So, yeah.
Since it's now 2021, that means that the Global Panda Express is officially over. Oh, wait, I was just kidding. I meant the global pandemic is officially over. They might be thinking, how is that possible? Well, 2 weeks ago, I cured coronavirus by filling a bottle rocket with hand sanitizer, and I sent it into the atmosphere. And for the past 2 weeks, the hand sanitizer has been spraying into the air, and people all around the world have been breathing in my vaccine air. Now, to test my theory, I decided today to see if I can find any pesky COVID germs lying around. So, I went to the gas station and I licked the debit keypad, and then I licked my fingers after typing in my PIN, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after that, I went to Panda Express and I enjoyed some yummy shrimp. But when I was driving home, I felt the COVID-21 germs from licking the gas station keypad bubbling in my stomach, and I went home and I fell into my bed. And I started coughing when all of a sudden I coughed up a piece of Lego? But I kept coughing, and eventually I had enough Lego pieces to build a little Lego house. So maybe COVID-21 isn't that bad.